¿Qué tal? Buenas noches a todos. Hoy nos vamos a conectar con Shubi Guimaraes desde Brasil, una gran corredora. ¿Qué tal? Buenas tardes a todos, gracias por conectaros. Estamos esperando a Shubi Guimaraes, una gran corredora brasileña con una trayectoria por más de 20 años en el mundo de las carreras de aventura y que tiene numerosas experiencias que compartir con nosotros. Gracias a los que os estáis conectando. Ya estamos esperando a Shubi Guimaraes. Como sabéis, este es el mes que hemos dedicado a la mujer y estamos entrevistando a grandes corredoras, importantes corredoras de aventura para que nos cuenten su experiencia. Así que nada, con muchísimas ganas de conocer más de Shubi y todos sus 20 años de experiencia. Aquí la tenemos, ya la veo. Buenas tardes a todos. Shubi ya se está conectando. ¡Hey!
Hello.
¿Qué tal? How are you?
Como estás?
Muito bem. Tudo bem, e você?
Tudo jóia, tudo jóia.
Estupendo, qué bueno. ¿Cómo prefieres, en inglés o en portuñol malísimo mío?
Creo que mi inglés es mejor que
Sí,
mi
que mi portugués,
español.
eso seguro. Y que mi portugués seguro. Okay.
I
So
think
what
it's
time is
better
it?
English, yeah?
Yeah, you are in Brazil and it's 6 p.m., right?
Exactly, I'm in Brazil, it's 6 p.m. now here.
Okay.
Just got dark because we are in the winter.
Yeah, it's very strange for me because now here is summer and we don't see night until 10 p.m. But yeah, cool. Well, first
Yes.
of all, thank you very much for your time. It is a pleasure to have you here. For the people who has just joined, I met you. I want to say that I met you last year in Fiji. We will go through that story. But first of all, I would love if you can introduce yourself. I know that you have been 20 years, more than 20 years in adventure races. You also are a mother of Tonico. I don't know if it is
Yes.
the right name. 7 years. Okay. So tell us a little bit about yourself, how you met the adventure racing.
So, well, the first time I saw adventure racing was on a trip to the States that I saw Eco Challenge from Australia on a magazine. So when I saw that, it was before we had the first race in Brazil. So I was like, what is this? I want to do this sport. You know, they do so many nice things. They travel to all these nice places. So that was before, it was 97. And and then we had the first race in Brazil in 98. And I did the first race in Brazil, which was
Yeah.
EMA. It was a 3-day race. But in the beginning, we knew nothing, you know, like it was, I did the race on running shoes, you know, like we had huge backpacks. We had no technology clothes, nothing, you know, on sweatshirts. We were like doing the race. But I
Great.
fell in love in with adventure racing. The first race I did, I was like, well, this is it. This is the best sport ever because you get to do all these sports, all these different disciplines with your friends, like
Yeah.
on beautiful places. You get to, you know, to go do these trails and all these places that usually people don't go.
Yeah.
And you have all the structure around you, right? Like there's someone waiting for you to give you your bike, and then there's someone waiting for you to give you the kayak, and
Yeah.
all the safety around. So it's perfect, you know. You get to travel with your friends, do all these adventures, and with all the things you need around you. So that was it. So I started racing. I raced a lot for the first 10 years, and from 98 until 2008. So I
Yeah.
had the chance to be the part of the golden years of adventure racing. I did the last 3 eco challenges before last year. So in the end, I did 4 eco challenges. I did the last two Regaluas also. I did the Regaluas in Vietnam and Kyrgyzstan. I did a few other races in Croatia. You know, the race series also was another series that I used to have in Europe, and all the big races in Brazil also, Ecomotion and Brasil Wide, all the races we had here. So it was a very good time. And when I stopped racing a little bit, and then I became an organizer. So I'm fully into adventure racing. You know, I organized the big races in Brazil, and the last one I did was the World Champs here in Brazil in 2015.
Yeah.
Which was an amazing race, but you know the economy in Brazil haven't been good for the last few years, so that's why I stopped it, because you know in terms of money and financial here in Brazil it's super hard.
Yeah.
And so now it's better to race again.
Yeah. Cool. And what have you learned in those 20 years? What brings you the adventure races to yourself as a person, I would say?
Well, it teaches a lot, you know. I always say that adventure racing, it's like you get all your life and you put in a few days, because you have to deal with so many things, you know. You're up to your edge, you know. You sleep deprived, you know. You are there the whole time having to deal with many, you know, emotions, like getting frustrated, being super happy, you know, relationship with your teammates and everything. So uh, the thing that I learned the most is to respect the others, you know, like how they are and how they think, and try to take the best out of them.
Yeah.
You know, like all the good things that your teammates have. And then that's something that I took for life. You
Mm.
know, you can't change people. You know, sometimes it's super hard to convince them to something else. So don't waste your time, you know, trying to change the people. You know, just accept how they are, respect everything, you know, and try to take the best of these people, like all the people you have in your life, and use that to go forward, you know, to have a good relationship, or to forward a project or something.
Yeah.
So this is the thing I learned the most, because if you have teammates that don't agree with you all the time,
Yeah.
don't keep fighting, you know. Try something else, you know, we have to understand that people have their limits,
Of
and
course.
sometimes you just have to accept it and respect it, and
Yeah.
then that's when you can move forward with your team on a good manner, on a good way, with good energy. Because
Yeah.
if you keep, you know, trying to, you know, be the right one, or to convince of something else, it's just a waste of energy.
Yeah.
So this is what I learned the most. And then of course you learn a lot of things, like for example, how to you learn to fall and come back again, for
Yeah.
example. Right. Or to be super tired and you think you cannot do something, and then all of a sudden you go like, no, I'm
Yeah.
strong again. So life is like that also. You go up and down all the time. And on meeting people around the world, the local people, is something that it's all teaches us a lot, you know.
Yeah.
And usually the poorest people are the ones that helps you the most.
Yeah.
And this is amazing, because it's something that you really learn about, you know, how to help others, being compassionate. And it's, you know, like, it's a very rich sport, right?
Of
We
course.
learn a lot.
Absolutely. And talking about the respect that you mentioned before, and I think is super important. How I saw that most of your teams is always females. How do you manage? Why did you started running with women? And how did you pick your team as a woman team?
Well, you know, in the beginning, we started racing like normal teams, you know, with 3 guys or 2 guys, when it was 3-person team. And then in the beginning of adventure race, because now everybody learned a lot, you know, everybody takes care of themselves. But in the beginning, like 20 more years
Yeah.
ago, like the guys, they were like, we are tough. We don't have to stop to take care of my feet, you know, I don't need help.
Yeah.
And we saw it in the beginning in Brazil, like all the guys, they were bonking on the races. And the girls in the end, they were always like, you know, because we take more care of ourselves, you know, we are more sensitive in terms of feeling the body. And, you know, no, I have to stop. to take care of my feet. I have to do this and I have to do that. And the guys, they were doing so well in the beginning. And then one day at the end of a race, we got together and said, okay, let's put a girls team together. And that was the first time the Elf Atletica Ventura came to Brazil. And the guy there said, you can make a 4-girls team if you want. And we said, oh, can we race in all girls? He said, yes. And then we did it. And it was funny because when we started that race, it was a very long race in Brazil. It was like an 800-kilometer race. And people were betting, the sport crew, they were betting like, the girls team, they will stop on checkpoint 2. They're not going to pass checkpoint 5. But in the end, we finished the race, and many other teams didn't finish. It took us 13 days.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
It took us 13 days, but we did it, and we finished 9th place. And that's when you notice, it's about resilience, it's about endurance, it's about, teamwork, it's about logistics, strategy. It's not only strength. We'll never be as strong as the guys to carry a boat, when you really have to carry weight. And this is something that we will never be as good as them.
Yeah.
But in other parts, we can do really good. Like, we can be fast. We can make decisions really fast. We can do many things, that can keep up with the guys. And we saw that because after that in Brazil, we won many races, and like first place in all girls, and even in Croatia, we had a very good race once. We raced in 4 girls. There were like 35 teams from all Europe, and we finished 4th.
Wow.
And it was a super good result. Yeah, it was super nice. So we can be very technical and fast. Not so strong to carry like huge backpacks. And actually, we don't need huge backpacks because we eat less. We are smaller. So everything is smaller, so which helps too.
Of course, that's true. Also have its benefits.
And there is something else about girls, because in the end, I always race with people that I really have a good relationship. I always chose to be with people that I really have something in common. And when you are on girls, sometimes you don't even have to talk, you're taking care of each other all the time. You're looking at each other like a motherhood thing that it's from like a woman thing. And then, exactly. So we have been doing good because of that, because it was super, efficient. It was an efficient team, and we felt safe. We felt taken care of. It was a very good sisterhood.
Of course. How did you meet your teammates for the first race?
Nora was my first, and best teammate that was with me last year in Fiji also. So we were friends before adventure racing. So we were already friends from life, and we were already like crazy adventurers, but not racers. Like we used to do already some crazy mountain bike, and we used to go camping. So when we first heard about adventure racing, said, okay, let's do it. And then Chris, I met on the first race in Brazil on the EMA 98, and then we were friends from that day on. And after that, we had a few girls. Karina, that was with me in Fiji, she also, we met her at the Elf Atletica Ventura. She was racing on a team with 2 guys and 2 girls. The 2 guys stopped the race, and Karina and the other girls, they joined us. And they did the whole rest of the race with us. So we did 5 more days racing together.
Wow.
So that's she became part of the team during a race. and then we started doing and it was super good because in the beginning, we had a lot of sponsorship because we were a girls team. We had good results, and it was good. We could live for racing. I raced for 6 years. I stopped working, and I was only racing because we had a lot of money from sponsors back then until 2005, 2006. It was a very good time from the 2000 until 2006. It was a super good time, and we traveled a lot, And after we started changing a few girls, because Karina went to live in France. And then we had Fernandinha Maciel. She's like a ultra runner, one of the best in the world now. She does like all the Ultra Trail du Mont Blanc, and she was here in Brazil. She started racing. She used to race with another team, but then we steal her from them because she was super
Really?
good, and we had the same, energy, the same motivation. And so it was all around São Paulo where we live,
Yeah.
and we were like already friends, and I'm still super friends with them.
Yeah. Okay. And how adventure races is one of the sports in which equality is in the best expression, I would say, because men and women compete in the same conditions. They compete together. They are together in the starting line and in the finish line, which is something unique in the sports world. What do you think that we need to really empower more women to play this sport?
Well, I think now with Eco Challenge coming back to TV, it's something amazing because then we can show the world that we can do it. I think keeping on racing with girls, the will to come back last year was also
Yeah.
that, to show that we can do it, and it's not impossible. I think the example of Sophie also last year, from Team New
Yeah.
Zealand, she had a 9-month baby and she was
Yeah.
back there again, doing so well. So I think being there and doing it, it's how we show everybody that women can do it and do it well. Like we have
Yeah.
more resilience. I think our pain, like we can take more pain. We complain
Yeah.
less. I think it's something that women can do really well. So that's why this is a very endurance sport, right?
Yeah.
You have to have to be sustainable throughout the whole race, and women can do it really well. So that's why I think adventure racing is a good sport for girls.
Yeah, absolutely. And well, the last Friday was the launch of Eco Challenge, and now I think that most of the people has already watched it. Can you tell us about your experience in Eco Challenge for those who didn't watch it, and also to share with us what we don't see on TV? Because talking with my friends, I also tell them that we only see 10 hours. It was 200 hours of 66 teams, so there is a lot of stories behind that we don't see on the screen.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a lot of stories, huh? Because, well, I have to say that I met you, right, Arancha, on our last checkpoint.
Yeah.
You were our angel there to help us. And, well, it was an amazing experience. It was really good and hard all at the same time. We were there in 2002, so 17 years ago, and we had a tough time with Nora. So we went back there already knowing that Fijian waters are kind of weird, and that on that side of the world there are some different bacteria than
Yeah.
Brazil. So this is something we already knew and was our biggest worry since the
Yeah.
beginning. We were not worried about the course or the disciplines or the mountain bike or climbing or whatever, but we knew that we really had to take care of ourselves.
Yeah.
So, but we got prepared. We went there and we were doing super good during the race. We were not rushing. We took like long transition areas, but we were doing good in the legs. We were kind of efficient, because we are very technical.
Mm.
Even though my last long race had been 11 years before,
Yeah.
so I wasn't doing adventure racing. I did
Yeah.
other races, right? I was doing, ultra running and
Yeah.
other things, but not racing. And so I was super happy. But then we got to those Buva Falls and that river again, because
Yeah.
it was the same river that Nora got sick the last time. And when we got to the top of the falls and we had to go in the river throughout the night, and then I started to see my teammates not doing so well, and for me it was kind of a deja vu, and I
Yeah.
was there like You know, I
Yeah.
was like,
Up,
I can't. I'm seeing everything again. Everything's
yeah.
happening again. You know, and like I'm seeing Nora also, getting kind of dizzy, and I was like, oh my god, what can I do for the team? And but in the end, we could stop in a checkpoint before the next climbing. We rested there a lot,
Mm-hmm.
so it was. I was being, you know, trying to do everything so we could rest a lot, but in the end, there was not much we could do.
Yeah.
But you saw us getting there.
Yeah. I saw you very, yeah, suffering a lot for abandon the race, but also I think that in some way you knew that you took the right decisions for the safe of the team at the end. So yeah, and yeah, and just one thing. When was the moment in which you knew that hey, Eco Challenge is coming back? It is in Fiji, and who made the call to the rest of the team and say, hey, we have to go there?
I do. I maybe Nora. I don't remember. But you know, like as soon as we heard, me, Nora, and Karina, we were like, you know,
Yes.
already sending messages. Okay, Kachan is back. We have to go. And yesterday we already registered for the next one again.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
was going
I
to
hope we
tell
have
you.
our spot again. I'm not sure yet, but I hope we're back there
Yeah.
to finish.
The same team, the three girls and Josh, the same team.
No, the three girls are the same, but now we're taking Ian, Nora's husband. So we're changing
Okay.
the
Yeah,
partners.
the men.
Now it's Nora's turn to take her husband.
Okay, so good luck, for this race. It would be amazing, to have you there in Patagonia, and I think the location is unique. It's again to remember the old Eco Challenge, and yeah, I hope that this pandemic can allow us to be there.
Yes, hopefully. And I think Patagonia is going to be easier and harder for us. You know, I think it's going to be easier because I think there are less chances of all these infections. Because I think this was the hard part of Fiji, being wet and all
Yeah.
these different bacteria. So
Hmm.
this risk we were not going to have in Patagonia.
Yeah.
The cold. We are Brazilians, right?
Yeah.
And we are from a tropical country, so we're not so used to the real cold. In
So
the
cold.
winter here, it's like 20 degrees.
Yeah.
You know, our coldest days here are like 11 degrees.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna face this and the snow because, like, I usually say that us from Brazil, I can see many types of green. So I know where is a swamp and I know where it's not like a swamp or wet or, because we are so used to the jungle. And
Hmm.
like people that are from cold countries, they can see very like different colors of the snow. So they
Yeah.
can also like recognize like the different types of snow and something that we cannot.
Yeah.
But we're gonna do it. And that's why Nora lives in New Zealand. So and Ian is from New Zealand, so this is going to be a big help.
Absolutely. Yeah. Two experts in the winter side for the winter.
Exactly.
Yeah. Cool. And after Fiji, did you start running again on or training again for the next Eco Challenge, or you were calm and waiting for the next announcement?
Well, I never stop training. I
Okay.
love training. This is part of my life, like if I don't train, I go crazy.
Yeah.
So I think right after we came back to Brazil, maybe like a week after, I was already back training again, but not with a specific,
Training.
goal, but all the time training. And then I had some races to do this year already. Like I was going to do the ultra train in the Dolomites in June.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I was going to run the 80K there, but then the COVID
Yeah.
came and everything was canceled. And I have a very good opportunity to come to the beach. So I've been at the beach since all this the quarantine started and we couldn't you know, work and do things anymore. So here I can train a lot. So I've been running, biking, and paddling like the whole time since everything stopped for something, you know, the first race that comes, like we're gonna go, because I really feel like meeting people, being at the start line again, you know, and do something. And we were super happy to when I got the email from Eco Challenge saying that they are going to to launch 2001, because we were also not knowing what they were going to do. So I was super happy when I heard, and let's do it again.
Yeah. And in Fiji, which was the most funny story that you remember during your race? Exactly moment in which we're all laughing and say, "Come on, this is or a unique moment that you can remember."
Well, I think the best moment in Fiji was when we were leaving Camp 2. Yeah, we were leaving Camp 2 on the bike. That after became a very hard mountain bike, but before we got to the mud festival, before we got to the mud festival, we were passing by a village, and there was a truck coming, full of kids on the back of the truck. I think it was a school bus from Fiji. And they stopped we were coming from, like, we were watching them from far, and then they stopped the truck. All the kids came down from the truck, and they lined up on the road and make like a tunnel for us. And they were cheering us like, "Yeah, go Brazil!" And they were like hitting their heads, and all the kids, I think there were like 20 kids there. Like, I started crying. We were all like super emotional and like crying, like, we're so welcomed by these people, you know, like Fijian people are amazing. And then we stopped a few times in the villages to ask for help. Was like my socks. One of my socks, I had a big hole on my sock. We stopped it in a village and asked for a lady to sew my socks.
No.
And she was there like sewing my sock, like the hole of my sock. And we were eating and buying food from them. There was another place that we got to meet this family, and they invited us for dinner. You know, we stopped there, you know, to ask for water and everything. They said, "Come in and have dinner with us." So we went inside the house, sat with everybody in the living room, and they made us dinner, like some pasta, and they made us some lemon tree tea. And we saw the kids coming, and I even gave my Brazilian flag for the kids that was attached to my backpack, like, "Okay, keep it for you." And they were like, "Yes." I said, "Yes." So you can remember the Brazilian team. And so I think all the moments with the Fijian people were the best. You know, this is something that we really take forever, and they're very welcoming people. It was very good. And another great part of the race was the rafting. The rafting was, you know, it's amazing canyon, very great white water, you know, not so hard. And so we're just cruising that beautiful river. It was like we were, you know, kind of, you know, another, when you transport yourself to another world.
Yes. Helicopter view.
Exactly, you know, you go there and go like, are we on the planet Earth, or we're in some other, you know, place, and not even planet. And another very good moment that we were super happy, even though it was being super hard, it was in the Bilibili. So we were there sitting on the bamboos, and we sat the whole time. We saw many teams, you know, standing up and paddling. We were sitting down. We changed our bamboos with the locals for old bamboos, so they were dry and lighter. We even cut with our machete so we could make like a kayak paddle. It was super efficient. We passed like 15 teams in the Bilibili. It was a super good start, not start of the race, but that part. And in the end, it was super long. We started in the morning and we went throughout the night. And we were singing the whole time. Brazilians like to sing, right? And we were passing teams singing like all the Brazilian songs that we knew we sang that night, you know, to keep us awake, to keep the spirits high. And we were singing. And we passed some teams, the teams were like, are you guys happy? And we're like, yeah, see me. And, you know, it was a very good moment.
That's unique. Wow, fantastic. Cool. Did you have in Fiji other moments in which you were discussing that, hey, we need to abandon, we need to retire it? Or it was just the unique moment that you decide that was the moment you did it? Or you have previous challenging moments which you were very suffering a lot and making that decision?
No, I think I started to get worried at the top of Uva Falls when we finished the big ascent. The ascent was super long, and
Yeah.
like took usually for most of the teams like 2 hours just to go up the ropes, the first Uva Falls. When it got to the top, I saw like everybody was kind of tired already. You know, I started to notice that things weren't going so well.
Yeah.
And then because before the falls, we could walk on the rocks, so
Yeah.
you were not inside the water. So we were just like doing a canyoning, but you know, jumping rock from rock. So we were not wet. And when we got to the top, that second section of the river, we were inside the water all the time.
Yeah.
So it's worse for the cuts.
Yeah.
So all the wounds and cuts, and also for the cold. And we were there during the night. And then Nora started to get more dizzy, you know, and hitting her legs on the rocks. And it's hard because she had the maps. So you have to look at the maps and try to find the right place to put your feet, and you're using your hand with the map, which is also hard because she didn't have like two hands to touch the rocks or, you know, help herself. And Zé was cold all the time. He's very skinny. And Karina's knees started to hurt also. So when we got to the next checkpoint in the middle of the river still, because there was another climbing section, right? It was the big climbing section, and then there was another climbing section in the middle before the last part that we had to swim a lot.
Yeah.
We got there at like 2 in the morning, in the middle of the night, and they were super cold.
Yeah.
And we got under the tent of the checkpoint people, the staff, and they said, you can stay here only 20 minutes. But my team, they were like, they couldn't leave there. And I had decided that we were not going to leave that place before daylight. And the lady would come to me and say, hey, you have to leave. And I was like, we are not going anywhere. And it was raining. And she was like, but you can't stay here. I said, I don't care. You're not going anywhere before daylight. And then they started to come, and the guy came and said, okay, you can't stay under the tent. Go put your type somewhere. The tarp, our cover. And I tried to find a place. It was raining a lot, only rocks. We were by the river. There was no other place. And when I came back, the three of them were already sleeping because I went searching for a place. And then Zé, Karine, and Nora, they were already sleeping. And another team came. So the staff had to go help the team to do the climb. And I said, okay, now I'm going to lay down and sleep also. So they're not going to wake us up. Because they wanted us to leave. And I was like, okay, they're sleeping. I'm going to pretend I didn't see anything.
Absolutely.
And then I just laid on my PFD and slept until it was just before daylight when we woke up. And then we decided it was a good decision, you know, to sleep for 3 hours there, because it would have been way worse for everybody, you know, for Nora and Zé especially, because they were very cold, and Nora started to get fever already, and so it was already a hard moment, even during the day, because then we started to do like we got back in the river during the day the next morning, and everybody was still super cold. I'm the chubbiest one, you know, I have more fat than the others, so I wasn't that cold. But over there, at that night was the moment that I said, I think something's not going good, you know.
Yeah, we will have to make a decision. And
then we got to the next checkpoint. We had some medical assistance. And then we continued for the next where we met you. They even said, let's stop and ask for a rescue. And I said, no, let's get to the next one. You know, and then they said, okay. I said, at least let's go to the checkpoint and not be rescued in the middle of a part. So that's when we got to you. And I remember we got there and then, who needs medical attention? Come up here. Who doesn't need, stay there. And then I said, no, I'm not staying down here by myself.
Yeah.
I want to go with my team up to the tent.
I remember that. I also remember you wanted coffee. Okay, let's try to find coffee. Yeah. Okay.
We drank all your coffee. You gave all your coffee to us.
I remember. I was like 1.5 days with no coffee, trying to get some extra coffee. All the doctors were asking for coffee as well, and I said, yes, it's coming, the coffee. Oh my God. But anyway, you need it, so it's fine.
Because then we had to stay there for another 24 hours, right? To wait for our support crew to come and pick us up. We had no food, we had no clothes. It was a cold place up there, huh?
It was in the night, it was very cold, yeah, absolutely. And I remember the local people, one night prepares you a nice dinner, remember? In their house. It was really cool to see you integrated with the local workers, and they were very nice people. Yeah, very generous.
Well, this is a Brazilian way, you know?
Yeah.
Because when we noticed that we were going to spend the night there, and we had only our bivac, you know, like the thing, I was like, oh man, we're gonna freeze. And when we saw the guys working in that building, we came to them, me and Karina, we went there and said, hey guys, do you have some blankets for us we can borrow for the night? They were like, you stopped the race. I said, yes, we had some problems, but we need something to warm us because we're gonna freeze during the night. And they said, do you have food? We said, no. And they said, we're cooking some naan and some chicken. Come and have dinner with us. So we went there, and they made a dinner for us. They even made kava that night. I didn't try it. I didn't have the courage to try it. But they did kava that night for us, and it was super. It's that's something I really like from adventure racing. You know, it's getting in touch with the local people and being helped. You know, all these connections.
That's what unique the adventure races. What would you highlight as the difference between Fiji 70 years ago and the race of last year?
Well, for me, the course we passed in some places that were the same. But for me, like in the past, we were more fitted, you know. We used to race for performance back then. You know, we wanted to push hard. When we stopped at the race, we were in 10th place or something like that in 2002. And this time we went there like, we need to enjoy the race. You know, we want to be there to enjoy ourselves, to enjoy the nature, to enjoy the disciplines, to get in touch with the people, to see all our adventure racing friends, because this is something very nice. As we did the last Ecos, the past years, when we got there, I was like, it's like Eco Challenge family, you know, like we knew many of the athletes, you know, seeing all those from years ago. So it was a different feeling, because, you know, we were going back to a family, you know, and we knew Mark Brunet, we knew, you know, Lisa Hennessy and all these people. And it was Kevin Hodder, Scott Favell. I remember all of them. We used to get in touch with them in the past. So it was different in that term, you know, and we were not going there for a performance, for a good finish. We were there to be there. So this is something that changed a lot, and we could start slowly. We were doing our race in our pace, but the bacteria didn't allow us to keep on going. But
okay, in Patagonia will not be bacteria.
Yes, I hope not.
Hey, just one more thing about as a racer. Has changed your approach of a race after you have been mother?
Yes, for sure. Because in the past we were crazy girls, you know. We would see a big river, whitewater river, and just jump and cross and didn't even think about, can I die?
Yeah.
And now everything, we do it like slowly. No, wait, be careful, what can happen. Even on the bike, we used to go faster, just to try to go over any obstacle. And now it's like, I don't know, maybe I fall, so I'll get off the bike and go over the obstacle and then get up on the bike again. So we take less risks. And I think we're smarter now, we're more intelligent in terms of team management, and, the spirits of the teammates, respecting and taking care of each other. This is something that we learned a lot, and it's easier, we had less fights. We did have a few.
Yeah.
In the raft. They didn't show that on the show, thanks God. Because we were yelling at each other, in the raft.
Yes.
Because, you sit on the raft, and the first 2 seconds of the raft, you have the biggest rapids.
Yeah.
And I did a lot of rafting in my life, but, I usually sit on the front of the raft. I did many championships. I used to race in rafting championships also, and I was sitting in the back, and then they were like, go right, go left, go right. And I was like, and it was a little fight in the beginning, and then in the end we organized ourselves. But that's the thing, we got in the river and all the big rapids and rocks there. No, go right, go left. No, this, like that.
Yeah. Is your team the kind of the teams that after a race, that's a brainstorming of what are the improvements that you can do, or do you tell to each other everything in the race and during the race, and then after the race is done, you don't talk about the race?
We talked a little bit. The difference from this team is because we know each other so well. I know Karina so well, all the craziness in her mind, because Karina's a bit crazy, but it's an amazing person. I know Nora so well, and I know Zess. The four of us, we know each other so well. So we kind of knew when each of them were going to have something, so it's easier, to deal with the things during the race when you know what to expect from them.
Yeah.
So, but we talked a little bit afterwards. But I think we did the best. The other day someone asked me if I would have done something different on this last Eco Challenge. I think not. I think we did it very well. Karina thinks we should have slept more on the last camp, on Camp 3. But at the same time, we got there in the middle of the night also. We had the whole river, so we wanted to do the river during daylight. So we didn't want to leave camp like around noon. So we slept for 2 hours, and then we left at 6 a.m. because we wanted to use the daylight. So these are all hard decisions that at the moment you take the one that is better, We wanted to do the river during the day.
Yeah, so, absolutely.
And then you have to start making decisions. But I think the race was... it happened what it had to happen, that was our story, it couldn't be different, I think.
And what do you think? I heard that you have also, as a now moving as an organizer, you also have like kids camp for adventure races. Tell us about this, because I think it's very important to leave a legacy and also to think in the next generations.
Yes, I have it's called Acampamento de Aventura, which is like adventure camp. It's a holiday camp, not summer, because in Brazil we do like all the holidays.
Yeah.
I have it for 13 years already.
Nice.
Jose is one of my partners, and it's on this beautiful farm from another partner. Like, we are 4 partners in this project, and this is the like, it's my other child, it's something that I really love. It's the best project in life, and so on the holidays we take 100 kids from Monday to Friday to this farm. Everybody camps, everybody in tents, us also. All the kids take their bikes, and we have kayaks because it's by a dam, like a lake. And we do adventure all day. So we teach how to mountain bike. We take off training. We use, like, from the first day. I lost the count of how many kids I taught how to ride a bike. And this is
Wow.
one of the best things in life, to see a
Wow.
child like doing her first strokes on the bike with no training wheels. And we teach them how to navigate. They have like orienteering classes also, and we do everything. Climbing wall, and also we have like a mini ramp of skate, and we have ping pong, we have soccer also. So it's not only about adventure,
Of
it's
course.
not. And
Muy
actually, it's
poco.
not something to do athletes. We just want kids to respect nature, and we use the sports for them to notice that how much they can do. So all the kids,
Yeah.
especially the kids that are not used to do those kind of things with their families, because
Yeah.
the kids, they come there, they don't know how to ride a bike. In the end, they're doing downhills and doing, using their gears. And so it's a huge development for the kids during the week, especially the ones that are not used to do adventure with the families, because they
Of,
notice that they can do so much. In the beginning, they
Mhm.
go there and go like, no, I can't do that. And we go and we say, here in the camp, you're not allowed to say I can't. This is
Yeah.
a forbidden word here at the camp. You know, you say
Yeah.
I'll try. You never say I can't. You always say okay, I will try. And then so we do that for 13 years already. It's the best weeks of my life.
Yeah.
I always leave the camp with my so full of love and 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 excitement and satisfaction because we
Uh,
see all the kids leaving the camp stronger in all
yeah.
the aspects, not stronger as physically
Self-confidence.
only, but mentally, you know believing that they can do a lot more and more autonomous also, because we also have to deal with like kids crying because they miss their parents. It's hard for them to sleep, and so we have to deal with everything.
Hmm.
And that also, they learn that they can't sleep away from their parents. They learn that they
Yeah.
can handle it. And
Yeah.
then so they go back, more with their self-esteem much higher. And uh, and
Yeah.
something nice to say, because many parents ask me, is it too many boys and few girls? And no, it's always even.
Wow.
We never, like never we had a season with
Yeah.
less girls than boys. We have a lot of girls. They really love the camp. Not all of them want pink. Many of them want blue and green.
Yeah. 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 Good.
um, and it's a good place also to show that the girls can do all these adventure sports. And the camp is a very also place that
Yeah.
welcomes all kinds of kids. The kids that like to look at the bird and to see the sunset, and the kid that likes to climb the tree.
Yeah.
It's a place for everybody.
Absolutely. Here, one of the followers said that the kids love Tia Shubi. So,
Yeah, my friends, the kids that come to the camp.
okay.
I feel like kids, like them. I'm another big kid among the kids.
Yeah, of course. And what are the age of the kids? From which age?
From 5 to 15.
Oh,
It's a
great.
big range. Yeah. It's
And
a
you
big
speak
range. We divide them in groups, 4 groups. So G1, G2, G3, G4 by the
fantastic.
age, and a little bit about their talents also, because the
Perfect.
bike is something that really we have to fit the kids in the bike skills, because paddling, you can paddle with everybody, it doesn't change the skills in the bike, the ability on the
Yeah.
pad or on the trekking sections. But on the bike, we had to adjust the groups so they have kind of the same abilities in the bike, but they can stay with their friends. And we have a lot of staff. We have a very good medical team also. We have many doctors there, one for each group, and the other ones that stay in the base camp. And so
Wow. That's
we put
really,
them to do big adventures, but we are very worried about safety also.
of course, of course. No, no, that's great. That's fantastic. Cool. I think it's something that we can replicate in other countries, and it's needed, at least for the continuity of this sport, because
Yes.
I think that the new generations is growing with only with football, soccer, and this sport doesn't have so much visibility, and this kind of activations are amazing for really enhance the adventure race for kids. Good.
Yes, and TV is a big thing, right?
Yeah.
Football, it's on TV all the time, so they have their idols, right?
Yeah.
You know, the kids, they need an idol. They need, someone to to focus and say, I want to be like that. And I'm so happy that Eco Challenge is back and the
Yeah.
world's toughest race and Prime Video. You know, if this is another big chance for adventure racing. You know, it became super big in the past when Eco Challenge was on TV, and now again, you know, we need someone to put money in this sport so it can grow, and so the kids can see, you know, the heroes, and then wish to do that, because you can only love something that you know, right? If you never heard of adventure racing, how are you going to become an adventure racer? So we need the, you know, the producers to come and say, okay, this is a nice sport.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think this time, for the first time, we can really see the race inside the race, and we can live as we were there. Because maybe 20 years ago, yeah, the technology was not so advanced as it is right now. And with so many cameras and, you know, in strategic points, the drones. So the people who doesn't practice this sport can really see, wow, do you really do this rafting or this navigation, whatever?
Yeah, I can say that because in the past, we were also featured teams in the other Eco Challenge. And this time, when there was so many helicopters, so many camera people, it was like a way different, you know, production team. And so it's different. But then, you know, I said that I was an organizer also.
Yeah.
I was a race director, and I did world champs in Brazil, in Pantanal. I designed the whole course. I spent 2 years designing the course and everything. And there was a Brazilian TV who did a show. So there is a 1 hour movie.
Wow.
And it's a very nice one because it is behind the scenes, because the cameras, they followed me. So the story is told from the race directors, for me taking the decisions. It was a super hard race. I lost like 5 kilos during the week of the race because I had to make many tough decisions. It was a very wild place where I decided to do the race. It was kind of crazy. But it's also, but it's, you know, it was on TV once, on a cable channel, and then didn't go on again. It's not like now that you can go back to Amazon Prime and watch it again. But this is something nice also that was done once, because we all also believe that we had to, you know, produce content from the races. You know, since the beginning, I think like we have to show the world what adventure racing is, even though it's super hard to cover. You know.
Absolutely. So we only have 3-4 more minutes. What should be 2021? We will see you more as a racer or organizer a race.
Well, I still organize, but running races in Brazil.
Okay.
I do. Last year, I organized like 5-6 races here. You know, trail races and also asphalt. You know, running races.
Yep.
Because I work on this with my brother at Icos agency, so we do that a lot. I'm already, you know, designing, like organizing some for the beginning of next year. Hopefully, we can do it.
Yeah.
But not adventure racing. I don't want to organize adventure racing anymore because I prefer to race.
Yeah.
When I went back to Fiji, I spent 11 years without racing.
Yeah.
And when I was there in Fiji, even though all the hard stuff, I remember that I really liked to race this. You know, I was there, I was like, oh my God, I like this. You know, I feel good, like in the middle of the mud. I love to spend the night in the jungle. I love to, you know, be out there during the night, you know, sleep deprived. I love that feeling. I love to be meeting people from the locals that we go. And this is something I'm going to be like Stray Dogs. I was, you know, I keep watching and say, hopefully I'm going to be like 65 and still racing.
That would be amazing. That would be great. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Me and Nora and Karina, we're going to be like
Yeah, that would be nice. Honestly, I would love to see you there in 20 years.
Yes, hopefully.
Okay, cool. So it's almost the timing. So I really want to thank you for your time and sharing your stories and your experience and all your feelings about the last Eco Challenge. And I wish you all the best for Patagonia. I hope that I can see you there. And I hope that I can also be there because I would love to work in the organization. So let's see and cross the fingers.
Yes.
Yeah, and thank you very much for all your support and your generosity sharing your experience.
Thank you, Arancha. Super good to see you after that last day in Fiji.
Yeah,
And I hope to see you soon again.
of course.
Obrigada ao ser em português, né? Desculpa eu falar inglês aqui com a Arancha, mas o meu espanhol não é bom, prefiro falar inglês ou português. It was great to be with you
Yeah,
here, and see you
yes.
soon.
See you soon. Absolutely. Thank you very much. See you. Adeu. Ciao, ciao.
Bye.